Hello and welcome back to the Out of Spec podcast. Tesla has hinted that they could be refreshing the Model S and X this year, 2025. 2025 is going to be a pretty big year for Tesla. They've already said that in the first quarter or first half of 2025, we will see in production their cheap sub $30,000 EV. We got the new Model Y. We could be seeing upgrades to the S and X, and then they're already working on the Cybercab. A lot is happening. Now, it was said in the Ride the Lightning unofficial Tesla podcast, Lars Moravy, who is the vice president of vehicle engineering at Tesla, said, "Just give it a minute, we'll get there." The upgrade a few years ago was bigger than most people thought in terms of architecture and structure. We'll give it some love later this year. Everyone here has a little place in their head for SX. They are not going anywhere anytime soon. So that kind of solidifies it, right? S and X are here to stay. We could be expecting an upgrade later this year. Now, giving some love could mean that Lars means that Tesla will start focusing on the next generation S and X very soon, which means we could see production as soon as 2026. We'll give it some love later this year is pretty objective and can be interpreted in many ways. But regardless, a new generation S and X is coming. Now, you got to look at the market here. We have Porsche Taycan, we have Rivian R1S, we have Lucid Air. Objectively, the Model S and X are okay. We have the Lucid Air, which in terms of efficiency, range, a luxury package, it is just I would say, a better vehicle. Now, there are some aspects of the Model S in terms of software and maybe acceleration that are just better than the Lucid Air. But in terms of a package, I think the Lucid Air is a bit of a better package. I go to the Rivian R1S. The Rivian R1S is outselling the Model X in the United States. Now, the Model X sells more units because it is a global vehicle. They sell in other countries than North America. But Rivian sells in just the United States and just Canada, and they are selling more than the Model X in the United States and Canada. Then we move over to the Porsche Taycan, which didn't have a great 2024, but in 2022 and 23 sold more than the Tesla Model S. So clearly, right, in the SUV, a larger SUV and larger sedan categories, Tesla isn't as competitive and dominant as they are in the smaller sedan and mid-sized SUV categories like they are with the Model Y and the Model 3. And so this means that it's kind of expected that Tesla's going to want to ramp some things up. We see the technology in the Cybertruck, 48 volt, steer by wire, even just the entire software package, the interior package, the quality of the materials, everything down to the ambient lighting. These are just things that the Model S and X don't have. And these are supposed to be their top trim vehicles. And so if you want to compete, especially in the ever-changing electric vehicle space where so much innovation and work is happening, you're going to want to make sure that your best offering is your actual best offering, because face value, the Model 3 like kind of overshadows the Model S a bit. It's a lot cheaper, and I think in essence is a bit of a better package. We saw what the long-range rear-wheel drive did on the i90 Surge. If you're not familiar, we at Out of Spec did something we call the i90 Surge. We took 10 vehicles, 9 electric vehicles, 1 gas car from Seattle to Boston, drove them nonstop with groups of people, rotating drivers, to see, which car does best in long road trip driving. A lot of variables. It's just anecdotal information. But in this race, the Model 3 beat the Model S by quite a good margin. And so the Model S and 3, the waters are more muddied, differentiating the two, differentiating how much better the Model S, their peak sedan, is supposed to be against their Model 3. Hopefully that all makes sense. Sawyer Merritt on Twitter said, he made a tweet, would you like Tesla to include and or change in a refreshed Model S and X? And I thought this would be pretty cool to read off. Let me know down in the comments what you would like to see in the Model S and X. Again, we have vehicles like the Porsche Taycan, we have the Lucid Air, we have the Rivian R1S, which are either selling well than the Model S and X or just overall better packages. And so if Tesla wants these vehicles to compete, they're going to have to compete with those vehicles with higher range figures, better charging, more family oriented, larger, right? That's what Tesla's competing with here. Now, Brandon from Tesla Flex at 48 volt with steer by wire and rear wheel steer, at least in the X. 800 volt, 80 18650 cell battery pack, accent lighting, powered front, of course, cooled rear second row at least, 5G Starlink capability, power folding second and third row if spec'd, better C rate, so better charging, and then we have more people, right? Better premium interior, at least 375 miles of range, 500 miles of range. Fat, wider charging curve. We definitely want to see a better charging curve on Tesla vehicles as a whole, not just the Model S and X. And just more, right? Another horsepower or so for the Plaid S. Adaptive aero. Better brakes. Powered front. That's something we see standard on the Lucid Air, standard in the Rivian R1S. The Model X and S don't have that. And these features, I think, kind of stack. They start to add up and really speak to what consumers may want as an entire package for a vehicle. And so I think it's important that you want to compete with what your competitors have, your competitors that are selling a bit better than you. 48 volt is really not changing the experience for you and I. Now, 800 volt architecture, that could definitely affect something that you have in charging, and that's going to affect us. Accent lighting, right? These are another just creature comforts. Powered front, that would be amazing. Cooled rear second row, at least I agree. A better C rate, I believe he means better drag coefficient, so a more efficient vehicle. And so, all in all, right, you can kind of see here, Tesla Model S and X needs some updating if they want to compete with some of the other EV offerings that we have out there in the EV space. Particularly not even just, the United States, but Europe as well, and China as well. There are a lot of features that I think the Model S and X will need to have to compete with the other premium options in this segment that we have that are objectively just better vehicles. And if Tesla wants to compete with them, that they're going to have to upgrade the Model S and X as well. I'm wondering if Tesla would change the shape of the Model X. Personally, I think the Model X, let's put it this way, okay? This is all just fun opinions, no reason to take it serious. I think the Model X is a minivan. All right. It's shaped like a minivan. The only reason it's not a minivan is because the doors go like this instead of sliding. But, a minivan has weird doors, has unconventional doors. They slide. The Model X has unconventional doors. It's a minivan. It's not a real SUV. The third row room is okay. Second row room also okay. I wonder if Tesla would change the entire platform for the Model S and X to make them more family oriented, right? The reason we see the R1S, which is a top 10 selling EV in North America, the reason we see it sell so much is because it is a conventional SUV. It is a larger SUV. It has higher ground clearance. It has conventional doors. So I think something easier for children to use. While the Model X, the door, some of the novelty, I think, gets in the way of it being an actual family-oriented vehicle. I have a friend who was cross-shopping the Model X and the R1S, and something he mentioned is the lack of storage in the Model X. And he would go through the school drop-off and pickup line, and parents would open the Model X door for the children, and it'd be this slow process, holding up everyone in line of the door opening, kids getting out, then the door closing, and then them driving off. Versus just opening the door, getting out, and closing it, right? Something a bit quicker. Again, also mentioned, there's no door storage or cubbies on the door handle, on the doors itself. And so it just makes it less of a family oriented vehicle. So again, I wonder if Tesla would totally overhaul and change the shape of the Model X. Let me know what you guys think. I want to hear what features you're looking for. I'll be in the comments. I want to know what features you guys are looking forward to, but also the Model X as a whole, because I think that vehicle is an anomaly. Besides the Cybertruck in Tesla's lineup, I think it's a bit unconventional in terms of SUV standards. And so, is it a minivan? Is it an SUV? Let me know down in the comments. But anyway, right, that's what's happening with the Model S and X. I wanted to kind of clear this up. I mean, the Model S was, I would say, the first mass production EV to keep up with the times. Of course, we've had the Leaf and we've had the Bolt. The Bolt's out of production, is getting new production soon. The Nissan Leaf still on CHAdeMO. It's getting an upgrade later this year. But the Model S since late 2011, 2012, 2013 has been here this entire time, and it's been consistent, and it's aged well. And so I think it's important to talk about them. But yeah, look, let me know what you guys think. This is the Out of Spec podcast. My name is Isaiah, and I will see you guys in the next one.